Lesson 3.3. Solve quadratic equations by graphing and finding square roots. All right, we're looking at two methods today. The first one is by graphing. Graphing, the idea is very simple, but it's a pain because it's graphing. You make the equation equal to 0, graph the equation, and you find the x values of the x-intercepts. So you're looking for the x-intercepts when it equals 0. Because when it equals 0, y is 0. At the x-intercepts, y is 0. This works okay if you have a graphing calculator that can calculate them for you. Of course, we want better algebraic methods also, so we can use square roots. And when you do square roots, you want x only appears as squared. So it's just x and it's squared. Now that might be inside of parentheses with other stuff, but this is not with x squared and x. It's just x squared. Solve for the squared expression. Take the square root. Remember, when you're solving and take a square root, you have to put a plus and minus. Finish solving for x, and check your solutions. Solve by graphing. Oh, it's quadratic, so you have to remember back from last chapter, how do we graph this? We're in general form, so the axis of symmetry is x equals negative b over 2a. Well, our a is 1, b is negative 2, and c is negative 3. So that would be negative 2 over 2 times a, which is 1. So it appears to be 1. All right, so then we make a table, put 1 in the middle, do some numbers less, some numbers more, and we use our calculator. So I'm going to go to Grapher. I am going to go and enter an expression, x squared minus 2x minus 3. Yay, we can see the graph. That's nice. Let's go over to the table, though. Oh, my table is set to start at 0. I'm going to start it at negative 6, and I'm going to end it at 6. All right. So when x is negative 3, y is 12. When x is negative 2, y is 5. Negative 1 is 0. 0 is negative 3. Then negative 4. Then negative 3. 0. We're at the symmetry. I'm going to match what's above. So I'm not doing the top and the bottom one. They're outside of my graph. So I'm going to go negative 2, 5. Negative 1, 0. 0, negative 3. 1, negative 4. Then we hit the symmetry. And we're looking for the x-intercepts. It's here and there. So where is that? Negative 1 and 3. So those are our solutions. Solving by graphing. Let's try solving by using square roots. Notice x is just x squared. There's no x squared and x. So you do square roots when it's just an x squared. So I get that alone first. So I'll subtract the 14 first. And that gives me 56. Then it's 2 times the x squared, so I'll divide by 2, which gives 28. And then to undo the square, I square root, and when I'm solving and take a square root, I have to plus and minus. I'm left with x equals the square root of 28. See, could we simplify that? 28 is 4 times 7. 4 is our perfect square. Square root of 4 is 2, so it's 2 square root of 7 plus and minus. So you actually have two answers. Positive 2 square root of 7 and negative 2 square root of 7. Why don't we pause this and try this problem? Again, there's just an x squared, so I can solve by doing square roots. Get everything away from it, so subtract the 20. Divide by the 4. And you say, oh, we're done. Now, remember we have imaginary numbers, so square root. Don't forget the plus and minus. What is the square root of negative 1? That's right, I. So x is plus and minus I, which are perfectly good answers for the problem. All right, more examples. Notice here's just x, and it is squared. So that is actually just an x squared, so we can solve using square roots. So let's get rid of the 4 over 3, or the 3 over 4, by multiplying by 4 over 3. Those will cancel, because that was the most outside thing. You multiply, it's like 10 over 1 times 4 over 3, and you multiply across. Next most outside thing is the square, so we'll square root. Well, let's see, 40. 40 is 4 times 10. The bottom is the square root of 3. Oh, wait. I can't have a square root in the denominator. So I have to multiply the top and bottom by the square root. Remember doing that before? So the top, the square root of 4 is 2. But these I can't do anything with, so maybe I'll multiply them to get 30. Then square root of 3 times square root of 3 is square root of 9, which is 3. And then subtract 1, so it's minus 1 plus and minus 2 square root of 30 over 3, which is about as hard as it can get today. Try another one. Oh, I see the x twice. Oh, but notice they're both x squared. So if I just get them together, it'll be just an x squared. So let's start by getting the like terms together. So negative 3x squared equals 24. Divide by the negative 3, so x squared is negative 8. Square root. Oh, let's see. Could we simplify 8? Sure, 8 is 4 times 2, where 4 is a perfect square, and we had the negative. Square root of 4 is 2, square root of 2, and the square root of negative 1 is I. So it's plus and minus 2 square root of 2, I, which is a perfectly good answer. Let's try a real-life problem. A fruit stand charges $3 per pound of apples and sells 20 pounds each day. They try dropping the price by 50 cents and sell 5 more pounds a day. How much should the fruit stand charge to maximize their daily revenue, which is usually what you like to do, right? What is their maximum daily revenue? Well, let's see. Revenue is the price times the number sold. So our revenue, our price, what was our price? Was $3. Oh, but we're dropping by 50 cents. So minus 0.5 times, let's call it x, where x is the number of times the price is dropped. The number sold, we had 20, but we're selling 5 more pounds. When we drop the price by 50 cents, we sell 5 more pounds. So we'll have to add 5x. Okay. So maybe now we should multiply it together. Okay. 3 times 20 is 60. It's 15x. 0.5 times 20 is 10, so it's negative 10x. And that would be negative 2.5x squared, which we usually would put first because it's x squared. Combine the like terms. Now, where's the maximum? The maximum is at the vertex. The vertex, in general form, is negative b over 2a. In this case, b is 5 and a is negative 2.5. 2 times 2.5 is 5, so negative 5 over negative 5 is 1. So we should drop the price once, and then the revenue would be, when I plug in the 1, we get 62.5. So what should we do? We should drop the price once and charge. It was $3, but I dropped it by 50 cents, so $2.50 to get revenue of 62.5, 62.50.